If you've narrowed your budgeting app search down to Quicken Simplify and Monarch Money, you already know that both can help you take control of your finances. But which one actually fits your style and goals? Well, I put them head to head so you can see the differences and then just pick the right one for you. But before I get into the features and my own experience with Monarch versus Quicken Simplify, let me share with you what I always do before trusting any finance software. I always check what other people are saying. And not just the glowing 5-star stuff, but the gripes, the 1-star rants, everything. Because honestly, if something's going to break the deal, you'll see it there first. And when it comes to Quicken Simplify, one comment stuck with me. A user said that the product is not always simple to use. His words made me think, like, if something literally has the word simplify in the name, you expect it to be intuitive from day one, but not for this guy. Now, from my own 90-day test, I get where he's coming from. The first week felt like trying to rearrange furniture in the dark, but here's the thing. It wasn't that the app was clunky itself, it was just different from what I'd been used to with Mint. But once I got through that initial learning curve, the whole thing started clicking. And looking at their overall ratings, this too complex complaint seems pretty rare too. So my guess, this was more about that person's personal workflow than an actual flaw in the app. Because on the flip side, I came across this review from a longtime Personal Capital user who said that he switched to Simplify to get better account syncing. He had two accounts that constantly broke in Personal Capital, but in Simplify, they connected without issues. He even imported his old transaction history, both from Personal Capital and from his own spreadsheets, without a hitch. Another user who came over from Mint said he's been using Simplify for a year now and likes it a lot more. His investment performance tracking isn't a perfect match with Schwab's numbers, but it's close enough to trust, and he appreciates that Simplify isn't constantly trying to upsell him financial services the way that Empower and Personal Capital did. So that lines up more with my own day-to-day use, right? When I looked into Monarch Money, though, the one-star review that caught my eye here was a billing gripe. A user claimed he was charged even after emailing Monarch to cancel and was still chasing a refund for $49.99. And yeah, that's the kind of thing that makes you pause. No one likes surprise charges. But here's the reality. Billing disputes like that are solvable. You also have chargeback protection if you paid with a credit card, so you can fall back on that. Plus, this complaint felt like an outlier. I didn't really see a flood of similar stories. Because right alongside that, I found a review from someone who'd signed up 8 months ago and said it completely changed his spending habits. He'd paid off all his credit cards, built a savings cushion, and even saved up for a trip to Japan. Another user compared Monarch directly to Copilot and said that Monarch was way easier, especially within the review cards feature that made checking transactions fast and painless. So while both Simplify and Monarch have the occasional hiccup and bad review, the overall trend is clear. Most users are not only satisfied, they're actually changing how they manage their money because of these platforms. And when I started exploring the actual tools themselves, that's where things got very interesting for me with Quicken Simplify and Monarch. Starting with Quicken Simplify, the first thing that stood out during my test was how it's not just a budgeting app, it's like having a personal finance dashboard that actually updates itself without me babysitting it. One of my favorite parts was the managing your clients feature in the business and personal setup. I freelance on the side, so being able to keep client info, assign expenses to specific projects, and even send invoices from the same platform I'm tracking my budget in, game changer. I didn't have to jump between QuickBooks and my bank app just to see who owed me what. Then there's the credit memos feature. I didn't think I'd need this until a client canceled part of a project after paying a deposit. Instead of like awkwardly keeping mental notes, I just applied a credit memo and the refund process was smooth. That's the kind of stuff that keeps your books and your relationships nice and clean. And yeah, Stripe integration for online payments worked flawlessly for me. I connected my Stripe accounts in minutes, and payments from clients marked invoices as paid automatically. No chasing, no manual updates. And outside of personal business tools, I just think Quicken shines in personal finance tracking. The credit score feature is right there in the dashboard, no extra logins or third-party apps there. I just like seeing not just my score, but tips for improvement without even really feeling like I was being sold something. And the Zillow integration for real estate values, brilliant if you own property. My home's estimated value is updated automatically, which is perfect if you want to just keep net worth tracking honest and total. The bills and income section became my go-to view. Instead of logging into 5 different accounts to see what was due, everything was laid out in one calendar. And with the watch lists too, I could track categories that tend to creep up, like dining out and video games as a whole category. And I could see like what visual feedback there is on how I was doing mid-month and maybe if I should pull back on some of it. And Monarch Money feels more like a clean, customizable command center. The setup starts with connecting all your accounts, bank, credit card, loans, investment, and because it works with 3 different data providers, Plaid, Finicity, and MX, I never ran into a can't connect to your bank dead end, right? Also, once I connected to everything, Monarch just pulls everything into a live dashboard. But where it really won me over was the reports. You can save custom reports so you're not rebuilding them every single time. I had a monthly cash flow report saved, breaking down spending by category, and it was just one click away. Group level budgeting was a subtle but huge feature for me. Instead of setting a hard budget for groceries, coffee, and restaurants separately, I set one for food and dining overall. And that flexibility meant that I could overspend on eating out one week and make up for it with groceries later without feeling like I'd failed on my budget. And I'm a sucker for global search, being able to type in Spotify and instantly see every single transaction for it way faster than scrolling through categories. Cash flow visualizations were crisp, easy to digest and filterable, and with the recurring expenses tracker, I caught a subscription that I'd forgotten about, $11.99 a month, and I was just able to cancel it right there. In short, Simplify felt like an integrated toolkit with business and personal finance blended together. Monarch felt like a customizable analytics hub for personal money management. All right, now no app is going to be perfect, right? And Simplify versus Monarch Money are no exceptions to that. With Quicken Simplifi, the only thing I'd say that I think is a little bit bad is that it feels a little overwhelming the first week. There's a lot of depth, and if you're used to a stripped down app, you might open it and think, like, where do I even start? But for me, that faded fast. The learning curve just paid off in flexibility and control. And with Monarch Money, it's super clean and user-friendly, but some advanced reporting options I wanted took a little digging to find, and while the multiple data providers are great for connectivity, it means some accounts need reconnecting if a provider has a temporary downtime. Not the end of the world, but something to know. When it comes to the cost of them, neither is free, right? And honestly, I think that's a good thing. Free tools usually come with like ads, limits, or the feeling that you're the product itself. Both of these are reasonably priced for what they deliver. If you're serious about keeping your finances organized and not just looking for a quick budgeting app to try for a week, the value here is solid. I'd say Simplify might be a touch more cost-effective if you need both personal and business features, while Monarch feels more worth it if you're all in on personal finance optimization. So just click the links in the description for their current pricing plans and any available discount or promos they're offering. I keep those updated so you can grab the biggest discounts available. So at the end of 90 days, both apps held up. But for my needs, one just gave me a little bit more control and flexibility. Whether you lean toward the integrated business-personal blend of Simplify or the sleek customization of Monarch, you'll win either way by picking the one that's best for you. Click the link in the description of this video to get started with our special discount and coupon.